Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Schaefer and I wanted to go through the Unit 5 test retake session with you. Please remember to take a minute to think about how much time you are spending preparing for the test. At this point, we've been practicing all year, increasing our study hours, so you should be at about 3 hours or more, especially in this case because it's chapter 7, 8, and 9. So if you want to be doing really well in the class, then I suggest you spend more than 3 hours in the preparation for taking this test. In the sense that you've been taking notes, you've been reviewing quizzes, Quizlet, things like that. That's all items that you can use to help you prepare for this assessment, along with completing those review sheets. One, they're extra credit, and many of you ask for extra credit. So there you go, there's your extra credit. And also, it helps ensure that you have the big ideas for the concepts we're covering. It helps you organize your notes. So research studies show that if you write out notes, you will remember the material much better than if you just listen to material. Here's a list of different things that you can do to help you prepare and study for the test, because remember the famous saying by Albert Einstein, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So if you want to change your grade, then you need to do something different. And this is something that you can use to help you. Please keep reviewing what we're learning and think about. Set a goal for yourself. What will you do different next time? This school is absolutely awesome in the sense that you're allowed multiple retakes. But if you were in a situation where you couldn't retake, what steps would you take? Make that list to ensure that you're going to get the grade that you need, which is passing or better. And then practice those skills here in the class. Okay, so let's go into some questions for chapter 7, 8, and 9. First question, which Lewis dot diagram shows an atom that needs one electron in its outermost shell? So which one of these? So with that, remember that hydrogen and helium are exceptions to the octet rule, or the number of electrons that are filling the outer shell. Blank energy is the energy that it takes to remove an electron from its outer shell. What are valence electrons? To complete the outermost shell of this atom right here, which one would you choose? You might want to pause this to review the different bonds that we've talked about. Here's 3 of the 4 bonds that we talked about in the chapter 7. The attraction between 2 oppositely charged atoms or groups of atoms is which type of bond? What type of bond forms when 2 or more atoms share electrons? Covalent bonds form because most atoms seek to have how many valence electrons? What type of bond would form between the hydrogen and the oxygen atoms? What type of bond would form between the nitrogen and hydrogen atoms? What type of bond would form between the sodium and chlorine atoms? When there is an unequal sharing between two atoms of the electrons in a bond, what type of bond do you have? Ice is less dense than water because of what type of bond? Hydrogen bonds occur between blank instead of atoms. The tendency of an atom to attract a pair of electrons that will bond is called. Pick which statement is best. A. Metals don't have electrons. B. Metals have 1 to 3 electrons in their outermost shell and will easily give them up. C. Metals have 4 to 6 electrons in their outermost shell and will easily give them up. D. Metals have 1 to 3 electrons in their outermost shell and will seek more rather than give them up. So which one is the most correct and the most detailed? What is the universal solvent that dissolves more things than any other substance? Which of these is not an example of a chemical change? If I were to strike a match, what response would this be an example of? Here's some information you might want to pause to help you as we talked about activation energy. Here's some more information to review before you move on to the next set of questions. So go pause this, make sure you understand this idea. If a chemical reaction uses up energy, the reaction is what? Which of the following equations is balanced? You'll want to put this on pause so that you can do the math and figure this out. And here is another question about balancing the equations. Which causes the temperature of the surroundings to increase? In a chemical equation, the mass of the products must equal the mass of the fill in the blank. All right, so tell me about acids. What do we know about them? What do we know about bases? Here's some information to help you along. What substance resists pH changes? So antacids are what? They're called this because they're able to neutralize excess what? Ions. Which type? What is a good buffer to vinegar? Okay, which one of these selections is a strong acid? Which one of these is a strong base? Which type of reaction happens when a base is mixed with an acid? What What is pH? What happens to the hydrogen ion concentration as the pH increases? Well, I hope that helped you as you reviewed these questions, that you've gotten that feedback, you've taken notes, and you're using the feedback and the notes to help you study and prepare to retake the test. When you're ready, go in, retake the test. If you have any questions, please let us know. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.